Hello, viewers. Today I want to talk about the National Transition Authority here in Africa called the NTA, which is being advocated by certain opposition political parties. One wonders what they hope to achieve by negotiating for a National Transition Authority. And I understand that their main objective of forming a National Transition Authority is for electoral reforms. But I want to ask, reforms in whose favor? Can they honestly think that ZANU-PF can negotiate its own existence out? Even if it were the MDCA in power, would they want to negotiate their own existence out? No, that would be foolish. Very foolish indeed. Zimbabweans, we must wake up. For how long can we keep on washing our dirty linen in public? For how long are we going to play to the gallery of the Western world? Don't we understand that the Western world enslaved us, exploited us, and continue to exploit us? Don't we understand that the Western world has waged a war against Zimbabwe through sanctions? Sanctions were imposed on Zimbabwe because the late Robert Mugabe had gone against the tenets of the Lancaster House Agreement. The land reform program, the indigenization policy, all were against the Lancaster House Agreement. Hence, and therefore he was removed. And hence the immediate scrapping of the indigenization policy and signing agreements of compensating the former white colonial powers. The crisis in Zimbabwe is how to dismantle the colonial economic and political systems. And that's the crisis in Africa as well. The story of Africa is the same. It's only minor details that might vary. We are all under the yoke of colonial systems. The colonial systems remain in albatross around our necks. We cannot survive. We cannot breathe. That is the crisis in Zimbabwe. That is the crisis in South Africa. That is the crisis in Ghana. That is the crisis in Nigeria. So when you talk of Zimbabwean Lives Matter, copying the caption that is used in America, without understanding that in America, when they started talking about Black Lives Matter, it is because America had killed thousands and thousands. American police had killed thousands and thousands of black lives in cold blood. Can you say the same of Zimbabwe? This should have been said during Gukuraundi. But Gukuraundi did not touch the white man, so he didn't care. It was only when taking property from the white man that the issue of violation of human rights began to be propounded by the Western world. There were just a few whites who were killed, who were trying to resist the land reform. But the main issue was that wealth had been taken from the white man. And that was a very serious violation of human rights. When the whites were killing the blacks, when the whites were detaining and imprisoning the blacks, there was no outcry of violation of human rights. It is only when a black government goes against the tenets of the Western systems that have been imposed on us that it becomes a crisis. Have you ever wondered why in elections we have held in Zimbabwe or elsewhere in Africa, the Western world had to be invited as observers and to endorse whether those elections are free and fair? This is a recognition that we are using their system, and it is them alone who can determine whether our elections are free and fair. The Americans are going to hold their elections on the 3rd of November this year. And we are wondering whether they are going to invite the Organization of African Unity, the African Unity, SADC, or ECOWAS to come and observe and endorse their elections as free and fair. That's not going to happen. That will be daydreaming. Africans, we must wake up. Zimbabweans, we must wake up. What are you selling as the crisis in Africa? Are all the people in Malawi eating well? Are the masses in Zambia eating well? Are the downtrodden in America eating well? Are they living well in Nigeria or in Britain? Zimbabweans must know that each country has got its own problems that are peculiar to that particular country. But we have to learn to deal with our problems internally, not selling our problems to other countries. When you talk of South Africa coming to help Zimbabwe, how can South Africa help Zimbabwe in any way? You are talking of human rights. Are there no human rights violations in South Africa? Are there no human violations in the United States of America? Even in Britain? We must think again. And think again very seriously. This is the voice in the wilderness, but the voice of true revolution. I thank you. See you in my next video.